Hello, you beautiful people. So, after that disastrous V3, we already got some new changes made to Cyrene's kit during the latest cycle of changes in V4, and I'm guessing most of you are excited to know what changed, right? Well, luckily for you, you've somehow managed to land on the perfect video to get all the info on these changes and whether they make her even worse or better. Firstly, I'm going to start this video off by saying these changes are not positive at all. They're in fact overall really bad, so if there's a really negative tone in this video, I do apologize for it. Honestly, it's just because I'm really quite disappointed in the direction that they took with Cyrene overall, and I kind of just expected better. V4 is here though, and this was probably the most anticipated beta cycle of them all, as it's actually going to be the final one because V3 was delayed, so unless we get a surprise V5, then this is the last set of changes that Cyrene is going to receive. If you're planning to pull for any of the new characters though, you might want to check out Lubar because on this site you can save up to a total of 25% on all your purchases. To give an example, I'll buy this 3280 Nyric Shard pack for $43, and this same pack costs me about $50 from the in-game shop. You can see that it's cheaper, right? For the top-up process, just enter your UID in this box and choose your respective server depending on your account. After waiting for a few minutes, I received my Jades with the double top-up bonus because it was my first purchase. If you use my link, which is in the description or the pinned comment though, you can get an extra 10% off on top of all the other discounts. Anyways, let me quickly mention the usual boring disclaimer that this version of Cyrene's kit is most likely the final one, but it's still not set in stone, so take all this info with a grain of salt. With that being said, keep in mind that these changes are possibly the final changes made to her kit for better or for worse, so let's begin without wasting any more of your time or energy. Everyone, and I mean literally everyone, expected Hoyoverse to buff her ultimate regeneration, as basically the entire community has been screaming at them to do this ever since V1. I would say it was expected for them to change it in V3, but I decided to give them the benefit of the doubt as she was given so many positive changes in V3 that I thought it was okay, and they'd just delay it till V4 and round off her kit in a great way. Unfortunately for us though, this did not seem to be the case, and the only changes to her ultimate generation was wording changes, which to my knowledge don't even affect anything. This is really bad for so many reasons, and I expect people to be extremely disappointed in this, as it's the only thing really keeping her from being one of the strongest characters in the game. And it really affects her synergy with a lot of characters that don't have memo sprites and can't really get the most out of her strong buffing effects. I'm not going to drag on about this for too long, as I'm sure you get the point by now, and I'm not going to drag this video out by complaining about it for 10 minutes just for watch time. This lack of changes is bad, and it's not even the only thing that wasn't changed either. Her light cone also received no changes, which is weird considering it was nerfed really hard in V3 without much compensation at all, and her light cone already wasn't really the strongest anyway. So this came as a shock to me as well, and I can't understand why they did it at all. Alright, besides this, there are a couple of positive things to look at, so let's get to that for now. First of all, Maiday's effect was buffed a ton, going from 80% crit damage on the Free God Slayer, she gives him to 200% crit damage, and that ends up being around a 25% damage increase on this particular action, which is extremely powerful and makes his effect a lot stronger than it was before. Obviously, this is great as Maiday really has received nothing since release, and Cyrene is amazing for him as she should be. Next up, the buff for Hyacinth was also changed slightly, increasing the damage she deals from 100% to 120%. This generally is pretty overkill, as I'd say that Hyacinth already had one of the stronger buffs, but this solidifies her buff as one of the best overall. Lastly, Dan Heng's buff was changed slightly, increasing the amount of damage that the bond mate deals from 16% to 24%, which is a good change, and especially because they made the boost permanent now, making his buffing ability even better than it already is. Anyways, with that, we're done taking a look at all the changes made to Cyrene's kit during the latest cycle. Her Eidolons did see some changes as well, but even then, it wasn't really much, as her E4 got changed to be a little worse and her E6 was changed to be slightly better, so basically nothing overall. As I've expressed before, I think these changes overall are abysmal, and I expect there to be a hotfix or something, as I'm sure the Chinese player base isn't going to be happy either, as internally there seems to be a lot of angry people right now. Based on what a source said, the Chinese testers were so mad after the release of V4 that Hoyoverse themselves had to ban all of the testers just to stop their complaints, which is honestly kind of funny. Either way, I still do think Cyrene is a good character with incredible buffs to just about every single heir, but just so happens to be given one of the worst flaws a good character can have, which is terrible ultimate generation. I really hope the next character in beta doesn't end up being this flawed, but that's all there should be for Cyrene at least. Also, I didn't mention it before as it gets annoying, but if you liked the video, then do consider subscribing. With that being said, I love y'all and I will see you in another one.